In this video, I am going to be driving our 1999 Subaru Forester. This is considerably more car than I've ever driven before because this sits at 168 brake horsepower, possibly a little more because it is mildly modified. It's got a turbo, it's got lots of horses. I'm quite excited to do it actually. So let's jump aboard. So here we are aboard. We've got these beautiful ruched leather seats, very sort of late 90s. We've just found something awesome actually. We have just found, and they're even marked cup holders. Oh, the disappointment is, ooh, I think they're supposed to ping of their own accord, but no.
Almost.
So, no. Here we are at Sinodin. We're just tooting along at 20 miles an hour. Just hitting the 30 limit just now. Conscientious driving going on here. Oh look, a national speed limit applies sign.
Oh really? That's an interesting noise, dear.
I'm sorry.
Are we enjoying ourselves?
I am enjoying myself, so I have to say, we have to admit that this is actually take two because we had the mic in a stupid position, and so I've got to drive the car again. What a shame. I'm really upset.
Gutted,
really
I
upset
imagine.
about this, as you can probably imagine. So obviously this is much bigger than anything I usually drive. It's got a huge nose. I usually drive square things, so you have a lot more road awareness, but it really commands the road in a way that my little cars don't. I know that there's an article coming out soon about the treatment of classic cars on the roads, but I would argue with that, with the treatment of small cars on roads.
100%.
Particularly Desmond.
Yeah.
People are so aggressive towards Desmond. You'll have people pull out of junctions or try and stop you from overtaking, all kinds of dangerous things just because it's a small car and they don't want to be overtaken by it. So this has a real presence. And earlier we were scaring the bejesus out of some poor Corsa driver.
We were chasing them down the road.
And we weren't chasing them. We were going at 40 miles an hour, but
You want to go left here?
Oh, we can do.
We do that bit again?
But I think it just has a presence, as I mentioned.
Yeah, you definitely don't
great.
get people treating you like you're in a small car.
No, you definitely don't. Now,
Good
also,
braking.
in the first instance of me driving this car, I did slag off the steering because it felt very heavy. It felt
It's got an unusual
unresponsive.
feel to it, yeah.
But I'm quite happy with it now, and we've come here for a reason.
Yeah. And what is that reason?
Well, we're just going to straighten her up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to cut the roll a little bit, and I just casually put a foot right down.
Do we like power, dear?
I do like power.
Yeah,
I will
apparently so.
mention that the saying "power less is more" has nothing to do with me.
Apparently
that was before
not.
me. So, and in case you're wondering if I've chickened out, no, I haven't. There's quite a nasty junction here, so that's why I've slowed down significantly, because it is a horrible junction.
Yeah, it's the only one of us. Actually, no, I think Betty might get to 60 on that stretch before you have to start braking, not the others. No.
No, definitely not.
no.
Oh my God, it takes about 3 days to get Shemi and Desmond up to 60 miles an hour. And there's just so much power here comparatively. It really is lovely, actually. Just gently pull out of the junction. I'm gently pulling out of the junction because I blasted out of the junction at Sinodin.
You rather did, yeah. That's the thing, when you got four-wheel drive, it'll do it. It won't sit there wheel spinning.
No.
It'll just get up and go.
It just goes. And it sounds really mean, as you can hear, but actually I am only just doing 60 now, and I will only drive this car in a legal fashion because I quite like having a driving license.
Not quite.
So yeah, and we were saying before that this car, my parents only ever had one new car. It was a Vauxhall Zafira, and it was the club trim, I think, the basic trim. And we'd spent months, we were looking at all the brochures and get really excited over all this overhead storage and all these things. And my dad got particularly excited over the VXR, which is the high-spec, high-powered Vauxhall Zafira.
Oh, hold on a minute, we've got to celebrate.
42,000 miles.
Yeah.
Well
Just
done.
42,000 miles.
Incredible. Low mileage survivor, this one.
Yeah.
Bless it. But yeah, so we the only car that we bought was a Zafira, and we were looking at the brochures, and my dad particularly was looking at the VXR Zafira because he enjoys power. He had a Ford Cortina that had some modifications, we will say, and he really enjoys power. So that was kind of dad in speed clothing, and this is an Impreza in dad clothing, because this is a family car. It very happily will carry a family, but it also has the power and the performance and the luxury that you would like as somebody who enjoys that kind of thing. It's a bit of a sleeper, really. I don't think they get enough appreciation.
A sleeper with that bonnet bulge?
No, I mean, in that people will instantly go for the Imprezas and all that kind of thing. They won't go for this, and it's the same. Yeah, it's really, really daft good fun, I've got to say. I have really enjoyed this. I didn't know if I was going to in the beginning, and I was also very nervous because somebody binned one, so...
I binned an Impreza.
So I was a little bit nervous. I'm also very nervous always if I have to use windscreen wipers with Mr. HubNut in the car.
They're good wipers. They're good wipers on this car. Good coverage. No triangular doom.
No. But
very good coverage.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because we didn't mention that.
We didn't.
But I'm glad to be able to drive this, because we are in rallying country. There is actually a rally, I think, this weekend or next weekend. And obviously the Subarus featured quite heavily in 90s rallying with poor old Colin McRae and the 555 Subaru team. So it feels quite fun to kind of reenact that in a legal fashion.
Now, how do you find the ride?
The ride is hard. One of the reasons that this is going and Bella's staying is because Bella is supreme comfort, which we've mentioned before. It's so strange, but it's true. This is hard. Speed bumps you definitely feel, and I don't know how happy you'd be doing a long journey in this.
Not very in my case. 300 miles hurt.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. I can't get comfortable in the seats.
I think the seats are lovely, and it's
should have let you drive. I should have driven the Canary.
No. No, that would just make me do bad behaviours.
Yes, apparently so.
Yeah.
Can't resist the turbo.
Just leaving poor Desmond in the dust. Like, bye, Desmond. Now we're just in Fostrassol now, and when I come out of Fostrassol in either Shemmy or Desmond, they really struggle. It goes 40, 60 up a hill, and they really struggle. Particularly if you have anything in front of you, you've had it. You're going to be in second gear by the brow of the hill. So let's see what this does. So we're still in the 40 limit here.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. Oh, the anticipation is almost too much. 60.
That's 60.
That's 60. I wasn't even there yet.
Quick. She's quick.
She is quick. She definitely hitches up her skirts. And we mentioned that I've driven, the other automatic I've driven two. One is Betty, but only on private land. And the second is the Smart. And the Smart is not very responsive when it comes to, if you've got it in automatic mode, it's not very responsive with the changes, particularly in certain instances. If you're going downhill to go up a hill, the Smart is not very responsive at all. There's a huge lag where you think, are we going to make this? And then it goes, oh yes, actually, I can make this.
Yeah, this not so much.
No, and it is pretty good at judging. There's only been a couple of times where it's stepped up and I've thought, I don't think you really needed to do that, but it did. But apart from that, yeah, it's been very responsive. We're driving it in automatic because it has to be said, the semi-automatic mode, and I'll probably get shot for saying it's semi-automatic, but you know what I mean, folks.
Yeah, manually selecting the gears. It doesn't work very well. It's quite a clunky lever. It's just better to leave the car to it. It generally seems to get it right. It's really
good. It gets it right. As I say, the only times it's hesitated was a couple of changes up where it was, I don't think it really needed it. But yeah, this is great fun, and you do not realise the speed you're doing. It gets there so easily.
Yeah, you have to keep a close eye on that speedometer.
It absolutely cruises at 60. I was quite brutal in the first take on the steering, but the steering's actually very responsive.
Yeah, it's just getting used to it.
Yeah, I did ponder about the braking on the corners and stuff, but actually you really don't need to. It is responsive. Turning circles, great on it. The one thing that I think is a problem is visibility. as much as I've tried.
Those enormous headrests.
Yes, those enormous headrests are taking up a lot of the rear view. So there's a lot of over the shoulder looking if you are reversing or anything like that. But aside from that, I mean, it's a luxurious package.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
But despite being a lot of fun, we're not keeping it.
We are not keeping it.
But it is sort
also,
of...
we need to stop torturing the Bella fans, because the Bella fans would have watched the Dacia video and gone, no, not again. And then they'll watch this video and go, oh, it's okay, she's safe.
Did we just go past the national speed limit sign?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
How did you guess?
But yeah, we're not keeping the Subaru. We have done a deal, but it is kind of staying within the family, which the HubNuts are very, very happy about. And we were given the car very kindly by Chris. Thank you, Chris. We've had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, it isn't the one for us. The cost of insurance, the parts costs, the economy, it just doesn't work for us as a car. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun with it. Thanks, Chris. And because we hate making a profit, we've covered our costs. We've spent probably about 800 quid, including the MOT, on this car since getting it. We've covered that, and we're also donating to 2 charities that are very close to our hearts.
Yeah, Mini HubNut did not want to let this car go. He is very, very taken with this car. So this is a great solution for our family, which we're very, very grateful for. And it means he gets to keep this car.
Yeah.
He gets to. Well, he's only 15, but you know what I mean.
We have supported 2 charities. We've supported Sophie's Legacy for very obvious reasons, because we recently took part in Kitch Up and Down's 24-hour live stream supporting said charity. Just hit £20,000.
Incredible.
So this car helped that happen. And we've also supported a domestic violence charity in the Bristol area. If you know, you know. So this car is helping 2 charities out, which I think is great,
as
well as giving us a lot of fun. So here we go down another twisty road. Right, how about the old speed humps? Ooh,
it's a lot.
It's not the best
No.
on the old humpy humps.
It's not the worst though.
Well, what's worse? The Smart didn't like humps,
The
did it?
Fiat 500.
Oh, the Fiat 500 electric. Yeah, I did not like humps.
Oh, that thing was hard. I've never known such a hard car.
Uh-oh. Jeepers. Yes, I think someone quite likes the power.
Oh,
But I have to say, I'm seriously impressed with how quickly you've adjusted to yet another different vehicle. For someone who passed their test in February,
yes.
which was, you know, what, 8 months ago, was it?
Yes, I think
Yeah.
about that.
Wow. Yeah, very impressive, because the way you judge in the width and everything of a completely new car, it's automatic. You're not necessarily very used to automatic. You've driven a Smart. That's as close as you've got. Yeah, very impressive. Well done.
Yeah, and the nice thing for me personally is the fact that driving was such a big thing for me for such a very long time. And even when we were working to pass the test, I couldn't allow myself to enjoy it. I just had to do it.
Yeah.
But now I can actually enjoy driving, and I enjoy it very, very much.
Yeah, and I feel very secure in the passenger seat, which is, again, incredible. It's testament to you. Yes, you're getting some kicks out of the acceleration, but you're not hurling it into bends with gay abandon. You're driving very sensibly.
And I know when to push it and when not to push it on here. So yeah, you'll note we're doing 40 at the moment. I wouldn't really go any faster than that along this section.
Well, no, with this amount of power, you could get yourself in a big mess quite quickly. As I know, because I've been my Subaru, it wasn't even a turbo. It was an Impreza Sport, and I discovered lift-off oversteer. And with roads like this, you got all sorts of muck on them, leaf litter this time of year. Yeah, you do have to be sensible with the craziness. You're doing a very good job.
Thank you. This actually used to be my route to school.
Yeah, look what we've got up there. Suzuki's. And a Mazda 323F, just like the one I used to own. Okay, you can go now.
I'm going. I'm going, but I know there's a couple of big bends just by here.
Yeah, that'll be suggesting sharpness.
Yes.
Test those big brakes. And we got mud on the road again, so you just can't go too crazy. But at least with a 4-wheel drive, you don't get more grip, but you do get more traction. It's not going to be as inclined to wheel spin as other cars. Not that our cars have enough power generally to do that.
No, not really. So would you have this turbo over a Pachoo turbo?
Oh, it is true. This one doesn't Pachoo like the Smart did. The Smart was hilarious with its Pachoos. A Pachoo is good fun.
Oh, and also what we would have missed out on is how I labelled the pedals as well.
How do you label the pedals?
Vroom and
Oh, yes. Excellent. Well, I'm glad you've had a lovely time.
I've had a great time. I've had a great time. So there we go, that's my experience of the Subaru Forester. Having actually slagged off the steering, turning circle's beautiful on it. To use the old adage, it turns on a, is it the threepenny bit or the sixpence?
Sixpence.
Sixpence. Turns on a sixpence. His dad's holding on to their dreams of driving fast cars, which sounds awful, but it's really, really good fun. It's really good fun. It's got luxury, you've got your leather seats, you've got heated seats, you've got all the luxury you could want in it, you've got all the power you could want in it. It's a really good fun car. So I would highly recommend this to you folks, except we've already sold it. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much to the previous owner for giving us this car. So we've had a great time with it and it's going to live a wonderful life in its new home. And thank you to all the support you gave up and down vids. Charity 24-hour stream, we're all still frazzled. And we shall see you in a future video. P.S. that says Daihatsu.